All right, 5 seconds. Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad of Delmer, together with my co-host Mark Ronich, award-winning columnist for the Jewish Press.
Yes, this past year I won an award from the American Jewish Press Association for my reporting on politics and government. And what goes best with politics and government? Liquor.
Oy vey.
Because you can't move in this area for the capital without some liquor. A little l'chaim, but a little hard liquor in the bottom right drawer. Take it out for
I thought, Mark,
when you make a deal. So we're going to sample some liquor from Kosher Fest, and Kosher Fest was this past November, and they at Kosher Fest they talk about it's a B2B trade show, business to business trade show, that's at Secaucus, New Jersey, at the Meadowlands Expo Arena. So there's hundreds of vendors that want to sell their wares to distributors and to supermarket owners and sales reps. So it's a big place to make deals, just like at the Capitol, big place to make deals.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to.
So all these wines are going to be new products that aren't on the market yet?
A lot of them are already on the market, but not in the Capital District, and they're certainly certainly in their own home country. These are wines from all around the world, and we even have some hard liquor here that we'll talk about in a little bit. So, but we have an assortment of wines from all around the world, and I just had a fun time going around drinking a little bit here, a little bit there, and it all adds up. So
I thought you were just bringing for Kiddush over here. You're supporting stuff for Kiddush. Well, we'll have some wine. It's a good thing I'm over 21, Mark, over here.
Right.
Just a little bit over.
Just a little bit. Me too.
Let me explain again, because I'm the rabbi, so I'll explain why wine actually has to be even more kosher than, for example, orange juice. You have orange juice, and it's like grape juice, fermented grape juice. What's the difference? Well, it goes back thousands of years ago when, if you read the Bible, that there are wine libations on the Mizbech, on the altar in Jerusalem, and it's very holy. But really, if you're an anthropologist, you know history, there were also other people believed in other gods, and they had animal sacrifices, and they also had wine libations. So if a non-Jew would take some wine, and they say, well, maybe I want to dedicate this bottle of good wine that we're going to see here, and I want to dedicate it to my idol and make a wine libation. Well, the rabbi say, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to use that kind of wine that's dedicated to an idol. So therefore, that the rabbis say you have to be for certain that it's kosher. Now there's, for example, on an orange juice plant, they come in once in a long while because they're not going to put a different pig juice into the orange juice, so you don't have to worry about it so much, where the rabbi doesn't have to sit there constantly looking at the orange juice. But with the wine, there always has to be you call it mashkiach, which means a kosher supervisor, that to be sure that no human intervention happens with the wine. They throw the grapes into the vat, and therefore it's processed, and it comes out, and you'll see many of these bottles you see here are double labeled, just so that no one interferes with the kosher of it. People aren't wine libations, I know today, but once the law is the law, the law is the law, and that's what it is. So we have to keep those laws, and therefore that there's specific wine, there's supervisors, special, again, on orange juice again, but it has to be specially supervised for the wine products, so that's very important.
So I wanted to ask you to clarify the word idol, because in today's society, you have the American Idol, which is a talent show. You have idols like, you might say the rabbi is an idol to a lot of people. You have people who are very beholden and very reverent to a certain person like a rabbi. and that be, in today's societies, an idol. But back in what you're talking about, in the
Thousands of
Torah,
years ago.
an idol would be
A deity, more of a god, like you say, American Idol, just because they're a good singer. You may like them and love their music, but you surely don't think they're a god, hopefully not. And in any case, Dad, we're talking about actual people bow down to statues. And again, olden days, you're talking thousands of years ago. But once the law is the law, and therefore the wine is, you make Kiddush on wine Friday night and Saturday day or on a
Kiddush
holiday.
is a certain prayer that you say over the grapes, right?
Yeah, and why did they pick wine? Because that's the most important drink. Again, people always ask, hey, I like scotch better than wine, and that's more important to me. But again, in a Mediterranean country, Israel's on the Mediterranean, you have Italy, you have France, for example. They're known to have the best wines. So around the Mediterranean, that was the national drink, was wine. So that's why they made the Kiddush, like Mark is saying, the sanctification of the day on wine, and it was very, very special. Like I said, they had libations to their idols. They didn't use scotch, but they used wine, because around in the Mediterranean area, wine was very, very special.
But I've seen people make Kiddush over vodka.
It's a good question. That, well, to get a little more intricate, that, like I said, Friday night is wine, is because that's the beginning of the Sabbath day. Now, there's also Kiddush Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, around noontime, and well, what's the middle of the day? Because you have it beginning of the day Kiddush, and you make it the end of the Saturday Shabbos, Saturday night, you have Havdalah, and you use wine there too. But on the other hand, middle of the day, it's rabbinical, where they just said, well, to start off your major meal at noon, you should make another Kiddush. But since it's rabbinical, there was leniency, and therefore they could say any good drink, which for a lot of people that's vodka or scotch, and I mean, if you can handle that. I mean, usually the most important drink is the wine. But again, you will see that people making Kiddush on.
And we're not talking about a cup this size when you make Kiddush. We're talking about something maybe half the size.
Sure, even less than that, 3.5, 4 ounces
Right.
of drink. You
so
could drink
some people-
more.
Right, so some people can handle vodka and scotch, 3 or 4 ounces of that, and just down it after a prayer. So
Yeah, people
but it's
ask.
a different prayer for wine than it is for the hard liquor.
Right. Also, that's what I was going to say, that, again, see people that can't handle vodka, no mitzvah to drink vodka if they can't handle it. And other people can't take any alcohol, I know, and therefore they can substitute grape juice instead, which is obviously non-alcoholic. But you can use, low alcoholic,
Right.
That's what I do, low alcoholic wine. You can get 3.5, 4% wine. We'll see what the alcoholic content of these wines are, straight from Kosher Fest, but they're probably usually around, I would say, 11, 12, 14%. Well, we shall see as we see the different products.
Okay. So, and with every, there's a warning on every label that says if someone is pregnant, they should not be drinking any alcohol.
Well, that's from the U.S. government. You
Right,
have to
yes.
follow the laws
That's right.
of the country, and obviously alcoholism is for some people, it's a terrible problem. There's many people that are alcoholics, and therefore the government wants to be sure you can get drunk on wine also.
Could you explain mevushal?
It's interesting. Sometimes you see that. Sometimes you only see it in the Hebrew. Sometimes you see it in the English, written on the label. Again, go back to what I just was saying about the pouring wine in front of the idol. Well, in any case, or for us, for in front of the altar. Now, when you give something to God, you don't just look in your barn, for example, an animal. Oh, I have the junkiest animal and weak and terrible looking. That's what I'll donate. donate the piece of junk that I have in the. No, when you're giving something to God, you give the best animal you have. And obviously non-Jews understand that. You see churches in the Vatican, they're gold. I mean, that's just logical for anybody. If you pray to God, you don't get, here's my junk, God. You give him the best. In any case, for wine, and not that I'm a connoisseur, but they say once it's mavushal, bushel means cooked or it's boiled up to sometimes 180 degrees, sometimes 212 degrees, which is the boiling point, it loses its taste. Again, don't ask me about taste. I only know about these low-level wines, but that's what they say. And people who are connoisseurs understand that. So again, once it's cooked, the rabbi says, well, that's an inferior wine. Don't bring it to God. And also the non-Jews also say that. Also, again, they also understand you don't bring something inferior to their idol or to their God. So therefore, then a non-Jew could pour it for, again, at a waiter, so obviously you go to fancy restaurants, they do have wine. And we'll talk about Passover in a minute, and there's surely a lot of wine going on, but you can have a non-Jew pour it.
Well, I was saying that, this past summer I had a behind-the-scenes exclusive tour of the Manischewitz Winery in Canandaigua in the Finger Lakes. And they make the wine for all over the world out of Canandaigua. And they, and they make all Passover wine. They figure if you're going to be kosher, why have two shops? One for kosher during the, and then for 1 week you got to switch over just for Passover.
It's a big, difficult.
I think all the wines are kosher for Passover. They have to say it on the label, but I noticed that there's a big overlap between wines that are all year round, and ones that also say kosher for Passover.
Yeah, well, the kosher for Passover isn't difficult for wine. Obviously, you're not going to put bread or leaven into your wines. Sometimes they are flavored. They do put flavored wines like cherry wine and things like that. So you have to be careful with the cherry and the flavoring. But generally, just pure grape wine is surely going to be kosher for Passover.
But it has to say it on the label.
Yeah, excellent.
Okay. So this wine is from France, and this is this wine is a rosé, and we're going to open this up and we're going to try some of this.
You turned into a bartender, Mark?
Oh, I was always a bartender at heart. Okay. So they have a little tab here.
It's double sealed. You see what Mark is doing. I said before, the rabbi was on to be double sure that nobody's interfering with the wine, so it's double sealed.
That's why I didn't open it beforehand, because I wanted to show everyone what, as much as possible, what you can do. So go ahead, Rabbi. Go ahead, continue.
Well, that's what he's trying to, the seal around is the plastic, what he's trying to take off, and then there's going to be a cork. It's nothing to do. Sometimes corks are there. Here we have a wine that you're going to see is just a twist on. Again, it is just the quality of wine, where cork is supposed to be better for wine. Again, don't ask me too much about it.
And there was a cork shortage.
Really?
For a while, yeah, there was a cork shortage, and whether it was, real or not is something else, but or just a manufactured shortage. But there was a real problem with getting the cork, and people were okay. So here we go. Da 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 da. Bum 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 bum.
I just want to say I was thinking of opening up a bottle of champagne, but certain things you say, well, wine, but champagne is wine, and also brandy is wine. So you have to be careful about these things. We're going to have not too many, but we have a scotch or a whiskey and a vodka and a Schlivovitz, which, they're always saying they cannot be. Well, you got a real problem.
Yeah, I don't know. The other bottle's open nicely.
Maybe you're getting weaker.
No, it's not me.
Maybe
It's
you have
never
to
me.
flip these things. Flip these things out.
Yeah.
A bottle of champagne is gonna.
Oh, there we go. There's something. Anyone from the audience want to come over and help with this? Or
It's getting it.
pop
You're
through
getting
your
it.
TV? Okay. There you go. Now, 1, 2, 3, listen to the pop.
There we go. Mazel tov.
Ah,
Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
l'chaim. Okay. So, where would you like for me to?
Here's a little wine here,
Okay.
just a little because I'm.
Alrighty. And you wanted to know what the. Okay. So even
Alcoholic content.
Yeah. Even on the cork, it says kosher for Passover, kosher Pesach. Even on the cork, it says it. So you can't.
So
go-
let's make Kiddush. You're
Okay.
not making Kiddush, I'm making a joke, but you do have a special blessing on wine.
Okay.
I mean, there's orange juice and apple juice, and really this is just like a grape juice, but it's special, like we were saying, so it gets
And
a special
this is from
blessing.
France. This
Yeah,
wine.
that's why I said Mediterranean.
Yes.
Italy, France,
Right.
Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
So good. Now, wine or champagne can only be called champagne if it's from the Champagne region of France.
Well, I didn't know that.
Otherwise, it's sparkling wine.
It's interesting.
And anyway, this was absolutely, oh my gosh, was this delicious. Looks like we finished half the bottle.
Yeah, I know. Didn't have too much. All right, so let's go through some of these other
Okay.
wines.
So this one is also a product of France, and it's from the Bordeaux region. So this is a very good wine. Again, it's also kosher for Passover. So let me. Are you going to mix?
No, wait a minute. I'm going to be drunk over here.
All right. Well. There you go.
Just a little. Don't get me drunk. All right, let's try this. We're going to try every wine. We'll be.
Do you have to say a bracha again or
No,
no?
one
Why
we
do you
had.
say-
Well, we had in mind. Hopefully, you had in mind. I did
Yes.
about all these wines that are in front
Okay.
of us.
So some people might ask, why aren't you saying it?
No, bracha.
Because it's a different type of wine. It's whatever. So I just wanted to clarify.
All right, smart.
Very dry.
Yeah, try.
Very dry wine. So we'll get the cork back in. There you go. Now this one is De La Rosa wine, and it's organic, and it's from the, like you're saying, this is from, well, it's Austrian red wine.
Austrian. That's interesting.
Yeah, of course, that's why I brought it. But it's imported from De La Rosa vineyards. It's a product of Austria.
I had enough over here, Mark. You'll be the taste tester.
Okay.
Hopefully, you can walk home.
I'm gonna get home, no problem. It's whether I could do work when I get home. Okay, so now this is called Aleph. So it's kosher mavushal, it's kosher for Passover. And looks like it's a product of Italy. Best I can tell, it's a product of Italy. And
All right. As long as it's
And-
kosher, that's the
and
main
it's
thing.
white wine.
All right.
So, and this is the screw top.
Yeah, so
so-
like I say, it doesn't make a difference for the kosher. It's just, I
Whether
think
you-
the more
a higher
important.
quality.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems like corks.
So it seems like they do a marketing thing when they say Aleph. It's people who want the label more than they want the quality of the wine. And now this one is Tabernacle Winery.
We're from.
The Tabernacle. This is
Sounds like from Israel.
no, Nestled in the sun-smoked Galilee region,
All right, it's
Tabernacle
in
Winery
Israel.
is built on rich soil and an eternal faith in Hashem. Our deep connection to the land of Israel runs through our vines, driving our enduring efforts to produce the best possible Israeli wines. Fruit of the Galilee, spirit of the desert.
You're a good advertising
Or is
agent
it
over
desert?
here,
No,
Mark.
it's desert. It's called so kosher for Passover. So that's the tabernacle.
And there's so many wines out there. I don't know what's new or old, or like you
Right.
say, maybe you can't get in the capital
But this
district.
is the first time I've seen this in at Kosher Fest.
Oh, it's amazing.
So it's
new
new to
wine.
me.
Oh, maybe it's new to the whole
Now,
world.
these wines here are all from South Africa. And South Africa has a burgeoning wine
Industry.
yeah. And people from South Africa don't think it's burgeoning because they're used to it and that's what they prefer and that's what they drink. So I just wanted to show you Cape Jewel is one of the best wines from South Africa. So I just wanted to.
I wanted to show everybody things. Now, it doesn't say that, but this is very interesting that you have wine coolers. I know people drinking liquor out of, it's like a soda can. But this one, if you would see it, Mark opened it up already, but in any case, there's 4 cans
Right.
in there. So I'm thinking it's good if you have this as, they don't say, but I would say that that's good for Passover, because on Passover you have to drink 4 cups of wine, and therefore, well, I know it's kosher
Yeah,
for
no,
Passover,
right.
but I'm sure it is.
They're
but-
making, this would be 1 cup.
yeah,
Each
like
one
here's
would
your
be a cup.
cup. Yeah,
Yeah.
here's your wine for the 4 cups. It doesn't say that, but that's what I'm thinking, and that's why they made it that way. Because, again, that's really when they come into business over here. The wine industry is everybody's drinking 4 cups of wine,
Right.
and I'm sure that's a boon for the wine industry. But this way, you give a person a little box. Well, here's
It's a
your
nice
wine.
gift.
Yeah.
It's also a nice gift. I mean, it comes
Yeah.
packaged as a gift.
For-
So that's something if you go into someone's house for Passover,
And
you know,
here's
you could
4.
bring that. So anyway, I just wanted, it's unusual to think that South Africa,
His
when you're
wine.
talking about Mediterranean, South Africa is certainly not the Mediterranean, but they have their own special
Well,
wine
something you
industry.
didn't have also is really California, our own country, has sometimes prize-winning wines.
And New York State has prize-winning wines.
Yeah, so we
they
don't
do.
have to go to the Mediterranean and
Right.
Italy and things like that anytime for that. That's not
Right.
that.
So I wanted to get to our hard liquor. And this is Czech single malt whiskey from the Czech Republic, and this is it's really good. I mean, when I had it at Kosher Fest, I mean, single malt is also very expensive, but it's also very smooth going down. Would you
Yeah.
like to try some?
No,
can
no,
open this up.
I had my alcohol contest for today.
You did?
Yeah,
Well, so anyway,
you got to work for the rest of the day too over here.
well, I'm going to try.
Oh.
I'm going to break the seal on this, and then you could bring it, because it's under your supervision, you can bring it for Kiddush at the Bethlehem Chabad,
All right, there you go.
Delmar Chabad, at the Chabad house. Okay, there you go. We're going to have a little bit of...
Not too much.
No, let's see. I'm going to pour it in front of everyone. Not too much.
Not too
Okay,
much.
there
Not
you
too
go.
much.
Okay, there you go.
L'chaim, l'chaim. Yes,
Oh, do you have to say...
We had a shot call already, so.
You did, okay. Oh, that's smooth. You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, all
Come
right.
on.
We'll wait for Shabbos.
Come on, just a little
A
bit.
little-
Come on. Just a little bit.
All right, a
That's
little
all.
bit.
Just
Mark,
little
you're a
bit.
good salesman. L'chaim, l'chaim.
Yeah,
We should be successful, and everybody should enjoy kosher as much as they can.
this is so smooth. Now tell me
Yeah.
that's not smooth, huh?
It's good. It's good.
Okay. So this is the Trebich Czech single malt whiskey. And really just from the Czech Republic. You should. If
Should've
nothing else good comes out of the Czech Republic, this
Right,
certainly
right.
does. So,
All right, a few minutes left. We have a few more bottles.
okay. So, I just wanted to. This is the old Slivovitz plum brandy, and this is a mainstay. When people came over from Eastern Europe, they brought their Slivovitz with them if they didn't bring anything else.
Yeah.
This was a very popular alcohol.
Yeah, popular Jewish drink. It really wasn't originally Jewish, but the Jews took upon themselves to drink
Adopted,
Slivovitz.
yeah. Slivovitz is just one of those iconic drinks,
Yeah.
and we got our own little bottle that we can finish up at Kiddush at the Bethlehem Chabad.
All right.
Okay, and now I just wanted to also end with this. This is kosher. It's just not certified yet. So I got one of the early runs off the assembly line, and the guy gave it to me, but he said this is not kosher yet. So we're not going to drink it because it doesn't have the hechsher, but all their other wines at Kosher Fest from this company Colina was kosher. They just didn't have the right label on here at the Kosher Fest. They bring their wines that are, that they want people to buy. So when they see that there's a demand and people are going to be signing up for the Colina, they're going to have the proper labeling on. They didn't have it, but they brought it anyway.
All right.
So I don't know if they snuck it in, if they
Like
were
Kosher
supposed to
Fest.
have it, but I snagged a bottle of that. So we'll probably give it away to some other family that
Would like to use it.
would like to have it, that doesn't care about being kosher or not, whether it's kosher. So that's our display here.
The vodka. You didn't,
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Antarctis
means-
vodka, 40% volume.
that's normal.
It says a product of Romania. This is from Romania. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but it's really nicely engraved over here. And for people who like the artistry of a bottle, this is a really nice artistic bottle. And you can see the name of the vodka in case you want to find it in your local wine store. And it's a product of Romania. So the Romanians really know how to make their good vodka.
Yeah.
They do. It's just not Russia. It's also...
It's right next door to Russia.
That's right. So this is Alexandrian.
All right, so I think, Mark, we ran the gamut over here. And people have, again, I say it a million times, that you have to just have the sweet, double sweet wine and worry about your diabetes. you have any kind of wine and liquor, and it's all kosher. Not everything is kosher.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyway, thank you for joining the show. Coming here. We're a good partner. We're a good team.
Yeah.
And I really
good drinking
appreciate.
partners. Only good things,
yes.
and we again, drink responsibly, but drinking the show over here makes
Okay.
you kiddish.
That's right.
Thank you very much.